All right, let's do it again. Do it again. Eric Arnold back in the sports barn. Thursday, about 2 in the morning. We're here to get you 7 college basketball picks for Thursday. Recap our break-even Wednesday. Well, let's get to it. Before I let me put my production hat on here. We had a complaint about the sound. It's a fine line. Believe me, it is. We've got our little Rode microphone that we use. And depending on what I wear and where I put it, that generally determines the sound. Whether it's up, it's down. I would rather shoot for too low than too high, if that makes any sense. I've heard some of my videos where the microphone is turned up too high, and it's unbearable for me. I mean, I can't stand it. It sounds like if I tilt my head the wrong way, it's awful. So I try to, keep it so that doesn't happen. There's some settings on the microphone. I won't bore you with it, but it's a fine line. So I'll try to speak up. I'll try to fill the gap upwards by just keeping my voice up, and I'm hoping that will fill the gap where, another problem is some speakers and some computers are not all created equal. For example, I never have a problem with my Dell here, but then on my backup HP, the speakers don't have enough balls, and once in a while, the sound is down and I have trouble hearing it without external speakers. So we'll try to keep that in mind going forward. We'll do the best we can. Just remember, I don't have a sound man. I am the sound man. So, anyway. But we do appreciate, I don't know these things unless you mention them. So I do appreciate the comment. All right, what's Wednesday? We broke even. What happened? George Washington, that worked out. They were down pretty sizably at halftime, and then I guess VCU, just like we hoped, just kind of took the second half off in preparation for Richmond. So we got the W there. Arkansas, what the hell happened? They didn't show up at all. I saw an article where the coach of LSU, Will Wade, was talking about how, Arkansas's kind of owned us, and we don't like the way that's gone. So we watched a lot of film on Arkansas. We're trying to figure out how this is, we're going to get these guys because we're going to be ready. Well, no bullshit there. He was ready. I thought Arkansas might have just off that, but, I guess, what's that line from the Hunger Games? Moves and counter moves. So Wade made the move. Now it's up to Musselman to make the counter move. But tonight it was all Wade. We were on the wrong end of that. Loss. We were certainly right about this one. The man's name is Sharif Cooper. He is the freshman point guard. Now played his second college game. Went for 20 plus again. Double digits assists. He's an NBA guy. You better watch him now because he's only going to play this year, and then he's going to the NBA. It's amazing. This is his second game in collegiate basketball, and he walks on the court. He's immediately the best guy on the floor. And it wasn't close. It's like, well, I don't know. Whoever number 2 is there for Auburn, I want him first. Just like the commercial where they're, picking the little kids there, and there's Charles Barkley. I guess I'll take, he looks out of shape, but I'll take him. I'll take Barkley, just because he's 4 feet taller than all the other kids. Auburn. Look look out for them. They're going to be heard from in the SEC the rest of their way. I have no idea what happened there. LaSalle losing by 33. Hey, didn't happen. McNeese State also didn't happen. Double-digit loser. Our losers were losers. They were not close. And then Louisville saved the day by winning by double digits at Wake Forest. So that split the schedule for us. Well, you know, I'd rather win, but, you know, it's better than going losing 5 out of 6. All right, get checked. Been having issues with this camera just shutting off. You know, there's nothing more frustrating than shooting a 20-minute episode and you going, all right, well, okay, that's that. Go back there and here the camera's off. It's like, what the fuck? You know? And then you got to do it all over again. So, what was I thinking? I did watch some of the Texas Tech-Texas game. That was right down to the end. I guess the one thing significant I thought I noted there is that in my notes I have Chris Beard as Texas Tech, the East Texas Tech's coach. I have him rated above Shaka Smart. And I think the end game of that game proved it to me. I said, okay, that's the way, you know, I think it should have gone, and it went that way. In that it was back and forth, could have gone either way. Texas had the lead. Texas has got a 2-point lead and the ball. There's about 40 seconds left, and Beard surprises them with a press. And Texas just looked like, hey, wait a minute, they're not allowed to come right down to the baseline and guard us. That's illegal. You can't do that. So the kid immediately throws the ball to the Tech defender, and that was it. Boom, basket. Now it's a tie game. And it went on from there, and Tech won it at the end. I just thought that showed me Beard's a better coach than Smart. You know, Beard surprised them there. They weren't ready. I chalked that up to coaching. So that was my thoughts on it. All right, Thursday. Let's see what we got. We got off the wall Thursday. Mid-major Thursday. We got one TV game for you, but Big South. We're going to go with Charleston Southern. That's a bad team. But we think that getting out of Charleston is going to help them. They've been bad at home, but they get to go on the road. They're getting 10 points from Asheville, which is not all that special. So we'll take that. We're going to put 2 stars on that one. We feel pretty good about that one. This one we like. We did okay last year with this guy, Joey Gallo. He's the coach of Merrimack. Merrimack is in the Northeast, in case you've forgotten. Merrimack won the Northeast last year before the world ended. Merrimack, that was the first year in their Division I. You know, I don't know where they came from, but I guess they put together a handful of guys that could play ball and said, hey, we'd like to play some D1 ball. Okay, we'll put you in the Northeast. Well, they just go out and win it. Their first year in the conference, they win the whole conference. Boy, talk about ungrateful. But, so I'll take these guys, you know. We're catching 3.5 points, and we're the conference champions. Mount St. Mary's, they're not very good. I'll take Joe Gallo. I think that's a coach that's going some places. And we like these going some places coaches, you know. The guy that's looking for the bigger, better deal. You don't want a coach that's retired in place, because they're not working the 16, 18 hours a day. They're not burning the candle at both ends, trying to get themselves hired at the next bigger program, getting that $1 million multi-year deal. That's what we want. And this guy is on the road to doing that. He just has to keep it going now. So I'll keep going with this guy, absolutely. 1 star with Joey Gallo. Longwood, they're one of the worst teams in the Big South. Winthrop's the best team in the Big South. This is basically just a play on Winthrop's just going to mail this one in, take it easy. We're getting 16.5 points. Maybe we backdoor cover this and lose by 15. So we'll take Longwood in the 16.5. Another Northeast game. Long Island versus Wagner. Wagner is in Staten Island. Well, we think we got a coaching advantage here. Derek Kellogg is the coach of Long Island. He's been there a while. He's coached, I think, been in some play-in games for the NCAA tournament, I think. So he's, I think, got a little better experience than the coach of Wagner. We think LIU is better. You know, got a better coach, better team. So we're going to take the point and run to the bank with it. LIU wins at Wagner. We like that. 2 stars. Okay. TV game. San Diego State at Utah State. San Diego State, in case you've forgotten, they were very good last year. They were going to have a good chance to go deep into the tournament last year. And then the world ended. And they lost their best player. He went to the NBA. But that team that still has some really good talent. They play really good defense. They have a really good coach. And we really think that they're going to go up to Utah State and get this game. Utah State's a good home team, but I think that's largely based on their very rowdy student section, which will not be there. So we'll take the 2 points and say San Diego State goes up there and gets one on the road. We think they're better than Utah State. Pomeroy's number is 39 on San Diego State. Utah State's 55. Yeah, I like San Diego State. I think that team is going to be heard from before the season's all said and done. I think that's a tournament team. All right, West Coast game. If you watch ESPN, you can see Gonzaga. Oh, they're playing Pepperdine. I think the number is about, Gonzaga's laying, I think, 78, something like that. So, not very interested in that game. I don't think this game's on TV, so you can't watch it if you wanted to. But San Francisco is going up to Portland, and we're going to take Portland. We're going to take the bad team here. Pomeroy's got San Francisco at 82, Portland at 290. San Francisco is kind of a hit or miss team. If they've beaten Virginia this year, they've done that, and then they've gone and they've lost to UMass Lowell. So American East, I think so. I think that's right. Anyway, so you know you got some highs and you got some real lows there. These two teams these two teams played a week ago at San Francisco, and Portland was actually up 2 points at halftime. And then in the second half, San Francisco just boom! Hit them with like a 20-point run and beat them by, 20 points. So, a week later, they're coming up to Portland. Portland's getting 13 points. Portland's a bad team, no question about it. But Portland did have that one good half against San Francisco. I think that gives them some confidence. They know they can run with these guys. I think I'm detecting a little bit of a trend here in all these back-to-backs that are being played in the college schedule. Team A beats Team B pretty easily in game one of a back-to-back. Then they come right back around, and all of a sudden it's a different game where it's hard then to beat that team again. So I'm kind of thinking that's what's going to happen. All of a sudden Portland's going to give these guys a game. Plus, San Francisco plays BYU next. And that's a tough team. That's a team much more the speed of San Francisco. That's going to be a very tough game for them. We think that's what's going to happen. They're going to just be thinking about BYU and not worried about poor old Portland, who they think they can take at any moment. We will take the 13 points at home. The Portland, are they the Pilots? I don't know what they are. I honestly don't know. So I'll just say I don't know. I used to work for a guy who was incapable of saying the words, I don't know. He's never said, in the tenure I worked for him, which is about 2 years, he never said those words. Ever. You could ask him, what's the square root of 88? And he would give you an answer. It'd be wrong, but he would give you an answer. He would not be able to say, well, Eric, I don't know the answer to that without a calculator. He couldn't say that. So I would just say I don't know there because I don't know. All right. Big Sky. We have Southern Utah. Do you know where they're at? They're located in Southern Utah. And then Eastern Washington. I bet you don't know where they're at. Eastern Washington. All right, these are Big Sky teams. Big Sky, Eastern Washington last year, that was the team that was probably going to win the conference. They were the team that had the best record in conference. The Big Sky tournament was canceled by the virus. The world ended before they could complete the tournament. Southern Utah had a pretty good record, but not nearly as good as Eastern Washington. Now this year, Eastern Washington is the assumed best team in the Big Sky. 128, that's their Pomeroy number. That's the best in the Big Sky. Southern Washington's 182. Southern Utah's played a lot more games this year. Eastern Washington's been hit by the virus, and they've only played a handful of games. They actually have a losing record. They're, I believe, 2-4. Whereas Southern Utah is like 9-2 or something. They're undefeated in conference. So here they come to Eastern Washington. They're getting 6.5 points. I think Southern Utah is easily the best team here as far as value goes. They might be the best team, period. They're playing better. Maybe Eastern Washington's got better talent, but they haven't played much. They're not playing together yet. I think you take the hot team right here and just go ahead and say Southern Utah. Take the 6.5. So there you have it. Mid-major Thursday. Let's get some winners. We'll get some winners here. Your top plays are Charleston Southern, Long Island, and Portland. And then fill in the rest with Merrimack, Longwood, San Diego State, and Southern Utah. Good, great, thank you. Hit the like button. Just makes me happy. Probably makes me a better handicapper. I think it does. Anyway, if you're new and you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. That makes me really happy. I don't know when the next video is going to be. We got a huge day tomorrow of everything but sports barn work. So I'm going to actually be busy doing things that have nothing to do with the sports barn. So I'm thinking Friday. You get the NFL picks on Friday. And then we may try to mix in, either a Friday or Saturday college basketball game here or there as I have time to do it. But I think that's going to be the schedule. And I don't know if I'll be speaking to you on the weekend because we got a big weekend of NFL playoff action. And you're getting the premium teams now. I mean, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore. That's what a great game that's going to be. the rematch, Tom and Drew. Tom and Drew, the old guys, the Hall of Famers, duking it out. Can Tom avenge the embarrassing loss at Tampa earlier in the year? Will Drew defeat Tom for the third time this year? I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Even though the Eagles aren't in it, I think it's going to be good. So I hope you're looking forward to it. Let's have some good sports this weekend. Let's get some winners this weekend. From me to you, good luck, good gambling.